Welcome to my series of video tutorials on how to prepare Form 990-EZ information return for small tax-exempt organizations. I'm David McCree. I'm a CPA, and you can find me on the web at myform990ez.com. This is a quick overview of Form 990-EZ. This is a 4-page form, and it's divided into 6 parts, plus a header and a signature section. The top is the header. Take care in filling out the header. It's a very important part of the document. Next, down here in part 1 on page 1 is the revenue section from lines 1 through line 9. This is where you're going to report all of the organization's revenues. But note that there are several lines in here where you're going to also put in some expenses. Here you're going to have a cost basis for certain assets that are sold. You're going to have direct expenses from fundraising events, and then you're going to have cost of goods sold. So the total revenue here on line 9 on your Form 990-EZ is not necessarily going to match your total revenue on QuickBooks because of these reductions here. Then down below the revenue on page 1 is a small section for expenses. Now in the 990-EZ, this is a fairly abbreviated expense presentation compared to the full Form 990. That's where the advantage is to the EZ. So this is where your expenses are going to go, and keep in mind also that because you've included some expenses up here in the revenue section, your total expenses on the Form 990-EZ are not necessarily going to equal total expenses on your QuickBooks or whatever accounting program you use, or your spreadsheet or whatever. Then down here at the bottom, this is usually where people goof up. This is the net assets section. Net assets are basically what's left over after you subtract your liabilities from your assets. And I'll be doing another video on that to show what that is in detail. Keep in mind that this is a touchy area. And so let's move along to page 2. You have a simplified balance sheet up here on part 2 at the top of page 2. And you always want to make sure that your beginning of the year balance sheet matches the end of the year balance sheet in the year before. That's something that's often goofed up. And if they're not the same, then you need to investigate and find out why, and maybe you need to make an adjustment. Part 3 down here, the Statement of Program Service Accomplishments. This is an area where you simply state what your programs are and the amount of expenses for each program. This is an area where you can really portray to the public and to the IRS what your organization has accomplished. And I usually like to just put C attached schedule, and then on Schedule O write a significant amount of information about the programs and how many people were served and so on and so forth. Let's see. Then down below that on page 2 still, part 4, this is where you list officers, directors, trustees, and key employees. And you have to list them here whether they get paid or not. Okay, and I see so many 990s that just have this blank. You must fill this in, and you must fill in the information here, even if they have zero compensation. And if they are compensated, of course, you need to fill in that information. Page 3, this is an entire page of questions, and the purpose of these questions is to figure out whether or not certain situations exist that would cause you to need to fill out additional schedules and attach them to the return. So that's the way the form is laid out now. You've got what appears to be a simple 4-page form, but once you get into part 5 here, the full return can quickly grow with additional schedules. So you want to fill that up very carefully, and be careful the way you answer questions. And they're also looking to see if maybe you've done something you shouldn't be doing. Page 4. There's a section here for Section 501c3 organizations only. They're asking you about lobbying. They're asking you about politics. And then, of course, they're asking you to disclose highly compensated officers, directors, and also highly paid contractors. Then, of course, there's the signature section. And at the very end here, it's question number 52. They're asking you if the organization completed Schedule A, and it's reminding you that all Section 501c3 organizations must attach a completed Schedule A. If you don't attach a Schedule A, and you're required to, and as it says, all 501c3s are required to, you will receive a demand for the schedule and you will receive a penalty. And so this is something you want to make sure that you attach. The Schedule A and Schedule B are the two most common schedules to attach, and I'm going to very quickly show you what those are right now. So this is the Schedule A. It's the Public Charity Status and Public Support Schedule. So they're asking you here on page 1 of the Schedule A to indicate why you're not a private foundation. And then Schedule A, the supports part of this Schedule A, there are actually two sections. One is for charities that receive mostly contributions, and they have one particular support test. And then organizations that get most of their income from program service fees, they use Part 3 of the Schedule A, a different section. So this is where you prove that you are indeed publicly supported by filling in your financial information, your revenue items. So this is Schedule B. It's the schedule of contributors where you will be reporting contributions from large donors, generally those that contributed $5,000 or more. And you list your contributors on page 2. And there's also an area to list contributions that are non-cash property, like if they give you stock or something like that. And that is Schedule B. So we've looked at the Form 990EZ, we've looked at the Schedule A, we've looked at the Schedule B, and there is one more schedule that is should always be attached, and that is Schedule O. Schedule O is simply a blank form where you add explanations or answer specific questions and elaborate on things that you were instructed to do in the Form 990EZ, and there wasn't room on the form to do it. So you put that on Schedule O. Any type of explanations, if you've filed your return late or if there's something the IRS needs to know about and there's no place to put it on the form, that goes on Schedule O. All Form 990EZs should have a Schedule O. That's a quick overview of the Form 990EZ, just to kind of give you the big picture of what you're dealing with, and hopefully that'll help you out. Good luck. Thanks for watching my video tutorial. If you need more help, you can find me on the web at myform990ez.com.